So um, today we are going to build two applications depending on how time goes. As I'm building the application, I'm going to be talking through how I'm thinking of the application, why I'm doing something, when I'm doing it, so on and so forth. On the screen, I'm going to show us the two applications I'm going to build. Application number one is going to be a quiz app. So on the screen, you can see I have a quiz application over here, whereby I can go and click on the answer, which HTML tag is used to link CSS. It is the script tag. Hey, sorry, the link tag, emitting, which property makes text bold is the font bold. Hey, is the font width. Emitting rough. Document objects module, in trouble, which you used to add at the end. Used to add is the push, I think. Okay. And then the ID, if I want to get element by ID. So I have three correct. So we are going to build this application over here that people can use to take a quiz. That's number one. Number two, we are going to build an application for a card. So here I have a card whereby I can click here to show my bio. And it is a simple card whereby instead of me giving people uh, the card, like office card or whatever, I can have this card there and people can, oh, go to this link. This is my work card. And instead of me having a proper card in which people can vote, this would be my work card in which people can utilize to do what they have to do. Are there any questions before we begin? Are there any questions before we begin?
Okay.
Okay. So in order for us to build these two applications, we'll start with the easy one. In this case, the easy one is the card application. So we'll start with the card application. And we would build the card application first. In order for me to build a card application, I will have to open my environment. So I will go into my desktop. In my desktop, I will look for my folder. I'll call it card app. And then inside card app, I will open up the card app. And then I'll open my card app inside my VS Code. And we have done this enough that we know how to do this. We should know how do we open our application app in our environment. This should be easy for us. This should be something which is very, very easy for us. After I've done this, I will type in my index.html. So here I'm going to have my index.html page. And inside my index, I'll have my basic structure of the HTML page, in which I can achieve that by typing HTML:5. So with HTML:5, I'm in the index of my page. So this is what I have. Let me make this 25 so that it is visible enough for us all to see. So this is my initial structure of my application. My application looks like this. And this is how I will begin to type any code in which I want to type. This is how I'll type it. This structure here, we have done that repeatedly in class, which means that all of us here should be able to get to this page here. At least we should be able to get here. Now, I have to design my application. If I right click and I go to open in live server, this is how the site looks like. This is how my site looks like. It is plain, there's nothing there. So I have to put the elements that would be on my page over here. I have to put those elements there. The first element I'll put here is my CSS code. My CSS code will come from the link tag and I'll tell the computer that what I'm about to put in there is supposed to be of the style sheet, and it is going to be found in the location called style.css. So here is my CSS. Now, on the side here, I haven't created my CSS file. If I click on Control and click on this one, the computer asks me, I don't have it. Do you want me to create it? When I click Create, it will create it on the side here for me. Or I could have clicked on the file here and typed style.css here. Then I'll create my style.css. So on my side menu, I have my HTML code, I have my CSS code. Also, in my body, I'm going to create the script tag, and I'm going to use src to tell the computer that it should look for script.js, and then I'll close my script tag. Again, I haven't created a script tag on the side here. So if I press Control and I click here, it will ask me, do you want to create it? Because it's not there. When I click, it will create it for me. So now you can see I have index, scripts, and style.css. These are the files that I would use to build my application. HTML provides your application with its structure. So it is in HTML that I will type the structure that I want my application to be like. Again, today's lecture is me combining everything we have learned and building something. And I'll be talking through why I'm doing something, when I'm doing it, why do I do it this way, why don't I do it this way, so that we can learn from it, build it on our own, and see how it goes. My application is going to be contained in something. What do I mean? Let's look at how the card looks like. The card looks like this, whereby I have a background, I have this shape, which is white over here, then I have this circle, then I have a place for someone to type their name, I have these things here showing what I can do, and then I have a button here for someone to click on, and when they click on, then this pop-up comes over here. This is the structure of my application. This is how it looks like. I have to design this. First thing, the background is the background, but the information that the thing will be held in, this white space here, it is a container. What thing or what tag or what element allows me to create a container? The element which allows me to create a container is the div tag. And here I'm going to have class being equal to card. So I'm saying that I am creating a div tag, and my div tag has a collective name called card. In my div tag, I have a place where the person can put their image. So in my div tag, I have a place where you can put your image. So this is the image. What controls images? It is the img tag. Where can I find my image? I can find my image using src. Now, if I have an image on my computer to use, then I'll go for the image that is on my computer. In my case, I don't have an image on my computer to use, so there is a site that you can go to fetch images, and I'm going to that site. So I've put the site in here. Now, if the site doesn't load the image, then over there at the image port, there is an alternate, which should be profile picture or profile photo. That means that if my image doesn't load at that spot, profile photo should be there. Then I will close my class and call this avatar. So now it means that anytime I say avatar, I'm talking about this image tag over here. If I go to my browser to look at my progress, I have an image over here. Every time I load, another image will come because that site just gives you thumbnails and images so that my site will look more realistic. Where is the container? The container is invisible. It is a div. I have to give it shape. I haven't given it shape yet, so it doesn't belong there. It's not going to show, but it is there. What do I mean by this profile photo? You can see that if I remove the link here, so the link is not there anymore. That means that when I come here, it will be a broken link. And instead of it just showing the broken link, it will show profile photo. So the person knows that, oh, even though the photo didn't load, what was supposed to be there was my profile photo. That is why the alt profile photo is so important. It allows me to do that. In the main menu or the main look of our site, after your photograph, I have your name and then the title or the role in which I play. So over here, I'm going to put the name there. The name is very important, so it will be a H1. And then to have a class name called name. And in here, put in my name. Let's say my name, John.
Yeah, I'm by the time. I'll buy them a rubber.
We know them in that day. And
I don't know about them.
Or since we are in Ghana, let me use Kofi Mensah, common name. What is the title of my page? What title am I giving this myself? So here I'll have another P tag. I'm going to give it a class, and I'm going to call it role. And then in here, my role is going to be, let's say, systems analyst. Perfect. What skills do I have? So the skills are all going to be grouped together. So since they are going to be grouped together, I would use a div. And then I'll call my div skills. Now, each of them would be on a span. So span, that is a div for a single line. And I'm going to have a class name for them called tag. And then in here, I know how to do HTML. I'll do another one. And then I know how to do CSS. And then I'll do a last one. And I know how to do JavaScript. So if I look at my main design again, I have done this half. If I look at it from this point of view, it comes with a photo, the name, the job, and then the skills I have. So that is what I have. Then I have a button. So here I'll go and do my button. I have the button tag. And then in the button, I'm going to give it an ID. And my ID is going to be bio button. So bio BTN. And then over here, I'm going to type show bio. So again, if I come back over here, I have the show bio over here. When I come here, I can see show bio here. So it's doing its job quite nicely. And then the bio information where it shows, I have to do that one too. So I'm going to call that ID bio. I'm going to give it another class name called bio and another class name called hide or hidden. Then I'll put in my info over here. So P tag, hello, I am a coder who believes everyone can code. Please contact me for any job. Full stop. Nothing spectacular, just this. Now, if I come to my page again and I refresh, this is what I see. I see a photograph, this, that, contact the bio, and then a button. This is the structure of my page written using HTML. If I want to design it, then I need to go and contact CSS. How do I take this structure and bring it here? If it was building, we have just built the building, you know, the concrete and things. We are now coming to cement the background and paint and do all of those things. How will I do that? I will go to my styles.css. Again, if I press Control and I click on the link, it will take me to styles. Or I can just go and double click styles over here. Doesn't matter. All I need to do is get here. Once I get over here, I have to design my styles. So let's design our styles. First thing I will do, let me see if I can do this. So I'll do this and dock it to the side here. I have this. So this is my style. This is my code. It's a side by side. Let's watch what happens. I will type star. Me typing star here means all. So I'm saying that all of the elements on my page, every single element, every single HTML tag, every single look of the application should have a box size of border box. That means everything on my page should be treated or behave as if it was a box. My margin should be 0. So you can see that all the spaces between each and every element has been removed. Again, if I remove the margin and I do, you see that there is a space between the Kofi and this. There's a space over here. These are all artificial spaces created by the browser. So I'm telling the browser that any space that you have, remove it. So all the spaces are gone. I'm also going to tell the computer, the browser that any spaces within my item, also remove it. So all spaces within it are also gone. So spaces between two bodies are gone. Spaces between a body and content of itself are also gone. Now I have to work on the body. So the body. CSS is me targeting elements on my page. So when I type body here, it means that I'm targeting the body tag. So what do I want the body tag to do? I want the body tag to have a minimum height of 100% of the viewing area. That means that anytime someone opens my page, it will take up 100% of the height of the person's screen. Very important. So that if it is a phone, it will pop up. If it's a computer, it will go back a bit, but it will pop up. Whatever he uses, it will pop up. I want all my elements to display as flex. That means I want them to display in a horizontal manner. I want all my items to be aligned in the center. So you can see that on the y-axis, I've brought it to the center. Now, if I want to bring it to the center in the x-axis too, I will have justify content. And you can see that on the x-axis too, I have brought the elements to the what? Center. So now, if I make this bigger, you see that it is in the middle. Wherever I do, it will always be in the middle. And I told you to take 100% of the viewing area of the person's screen. So you can see that anytime the screen changes, no matter what, it is in the middle and it has taken up 100% of the viewing area in terms of height. Align items to put you in the center on the y-axis. Justify content to put you in the center on the x-axis. If you are in the center in the x-axis and the y-axis, then you are in the middle. I want my background to be a bit of bluish, greenish, something, something. So I'll say my background should be hashtag FO, F4, F8. And then my font family should be Arial. And if Arial is not there, or the person doesn't have Arial, then sans serif should be the font that is being used. So it will first be Arial. If Arial is not there, then it will be sans serif. So this is the code I have done for my background. Now, let me do the code for the card. And remember what we said. We said that anytime there is a dot in front of something, then it is a class. So when I come here, I'll see that I have card here. It is a class. That is why I put a dot in front. CSS is difficult because you are designing something. It's like you're an artist. Even for you to take a pen and a paper and draw on a piece of paper is difficult, which means the more you do CSS, the more you see a designing which is appealing to you that you would like. I'll grant you that. But CSS is simply me targeting elements on my page. If I target the right element at the right time, it will have an effect which will make my page look good. In here, I have my CSS. My background is going to be white. You can see immediately the background for the card itself is what? White. It should have a border radius. That will allow my corners to be curved, and it should be 16 pixels. So immediately you see that my corners are rounded. From here, you can see that we have rounded corners. So if I want to round my corners, then I would use border radius. I want a padding of 40 on the top and 32 on the left and right. So that's what it has done. So top and bottom 40, side and side, I want 32. And this is what I get. All the text inside the card should be aligned to the center. So now you can see that all my text is aligned to the center. The width of this thing should be fixed. So the width should be 360 pixels. And if I do that, then it looks like this now. Now, if I do the width like this, anytime my page grows, it will not grow. So I should say the maximum width so that if the page grows, it will be fixed at this. When it comes smaller, then it will always remain this. And then the width should be 90% of whatever viewing area that I am using. Now, those of you who have done any artistry in your life, you'd realize that what makes us have shape and colors is shadowing. Shape. If you see something and there is an outline, if there was no light to show the curve of something, we will all not see shape. So to make this thing more realistic, I am going to give it a box shadow. of 0, 8 pixels, and 24 pixels. And then the light is going, which is RGB, so red, blue, red, green, blue, alpha. It's going to be 0, 0, 0, 0.12. So red is 0, green is 0, blue is 0, and alpha is 0.12. And immediately you can see there is a shadow behind it, which allows it to pop up. If my shadow is not there, so if I remove the shadow, this is the work without the shadow. This is the work with the shadow. You can see there is a vast difference. It's like it's popping up of my page. I have partitioned it. Each effect, you can see what it does. Each effect. So for every element, I am targeting certain things about them, certain properties, and making sure that the properties allow me to have certain effects. Now I'm going to target avatar. And again, if the thing is starting with a capital letter A, with a dot, then it is a what? A class. That means that if I go into my HTML, I remember doing the image tag, and I remember saying that the image tag is going to have a class name called avatar. And what do I want to do with the image tag? I want to give it a width of 120 pixels. I want to give it a height of 120 pixels. First thing I'll do is make sure it is a square. And if it is a square, and I say that the border radius should be 50% of it, then it will turn into a circle. If it was a rectangle and I did that, it will not turn into a circle. Border radius is to show the curve. So half of the curve of a square is a circle. To make it pop, I would say give me a border of 4 pixels thick. It should be solid so that people can see it. And the color should be a bit bluish. So it should be 1B, 1B, 2A, 4A. And you can see a thick outline around it, letting it pop. And I want some distance between it and then the name over here. So I will go for my margin, but this time, if I do margin, it will do for all of it. I don't want for all of it. I just want for the margin bottom. And the bottom should be 16 pixels so that I can have a nice space between the picture and the next thing that comes after the picture. I want the name of the element. So I want a font size of 1.5 REM. REM gives you a ratio. So the person's browser has a font size. So I'm saying 1.5 of the person's font. So whatever your font is, make it 1.5 of that font. I want my color to be a bit grayish. So color should be hashtag 1B, 2A, 4A. So as to match the outline of the thing. And then my margin from the bottom should be 4 pixels so that there will be a distance between this and this. Now, the systems analyst, what contains it, we called it role. So over here, I have called what contains it, that's the P tag, I called it role. So I'm targeting role. The color of role should be hashtag 777 gray. The font size of role should be 0.95 REM. And then the margin from the bottom should be 20 pixels. Beautiful. Now I can target the skills. And you can see that each effect has an effect on my page. And each time I do something, the changes, we are seeing them in real time. And that is why I put the page in view so that we can see the changes. We can see them. And I'm recording them too, so that in your time, you can have them and design them on your own. In here, I've displayed flex. I have gap of 8 pixels. So you can see that now each of them has a gap between them beautifully. And I want each of them to be on the y-axis centered. Beautiful. I want to have a flex wrap of a wrap. Perfect. So that it is wrapped around itself. Now that I have worked on the container that contains the skills, this container, I can work on each and every individual skill. And each and every individual skill is contained inside the .tag because it is a class. So it is going to be a .tag. Now in here, I'm going to type the following code. The background should be hashtag FEEF2F7. Okay. The color, so this is the font color, right, of the writings that are there, should be a bit deeper bluish color of 1B, 2A, 4A. We should have a padding of 4 pixels up and down, 14 pixels side and side. Immediately, you can see that now it is popping up and showing. That is the way we have the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript. We should have a border radius so that this is rounded of 20 pixels. The font size should be 0.85 REM. And the font weight should be bold. Now I can move to the button. Button. Why is there no dot in front of button? Why is there nothing in front of button? Because for button, I didn't give it any class name and I'm using the tag itself. So I don't have to bring any dot in front of it. My margin from the top should be 20 pixels. So the button has moved down. The button should have a padding of 10 pixels up and down, and then 28 pixels side and side. So the button looks like this now. The background of my button should be hashtag 1B 2A 4A. The color of my button, that is the font color, should be white. The border should be none, so that the square thing around it goes away. It should have a border radius so that the border is rounded, right? Now, anytime you see that when I bring the cursor here, you should know that you should click on it. So anytime the cursor goes anywhere near it, it should be a pointer. So you can see that now when a cursor gets it, you can see that now it changes into a hand so that the person knows that he can click in it. The font size should be the person's page font size scaled by 1. And then we should have a transition from the background of 0.3 seconds. So that when the page loads, it just delays a little bit, then it looks a bit nicer. When you put the cursor in front of this thing, how do you know that we have put the cursor here? So I would use the button again, but I'll use a pseudo selector called hover. So I'll bring the colon and hover. And all the things here are pseudo selected, but the one in which I want is hover. So that when someone hovers over it, the background color should change to F5, A6, 23. So when I hover, it changes into a green, and the person knows that I'm about to select this thing here. And then the color of the writings rather should change to height hashtag 1B 2A 4A. So that when I do this, the writings become blue, the background becomes yellow. Writings become blue, background becomes yellow. Now, this side, the writings. The writings, we saved it under .bio. The margin to the top should be 16 pixels. The padding should be 14 pixels. The background should be hashtag F8, F9, FB. The border left should be 4 pixels solid, hashtag 1B, 2A, 4A. So this is what I have. So because I said border left, you can see that only one side has been made solid, the rest have been left free. If I made it border and I save, then it will happen to all of them. I only want the left one there so that it will look like this one. I want all my text. So text alignment, it should be on the left. Wonderful. I want my font size to be 0.9 REM. I want my border radius to be 0 pixels on the top left-hand corner, 8 pixels on my right top-hand corner, 8 pixels on my bottom right-hand corner, and 0 pixels on my left-hand corner. So, what about that? Oh, pixels, I forgot to add this. Oh, over here is supposed to be 0 area. So you can see that here is solid, over here is rounded, here is rounded. So these two here are for the right-hand corner, left corner, and left corner are 0, 0. So it is perfectly fine. Then my line height. So the height between the writings over here should be 1.6. So there is some gap between the writings over here. Then of course, the color for everything there, the color should be hashtag 333, which is gray. So I'll have my grayish color over. Now, this thing here is not supposed to show. I'm supposed to click the button before it shows. So I have created a class here. So I have class bio. There's a space. So I have another class called hidden. And yes, you can have 2 classes for an element. The same way you people are semester 3 and you are doing IT is the same way in which that can be. So you can have 2 group names. So here we have 2 group names. And in those 2 group names, I'm going to say that dot hidden, because remember it is a class, so hidden. And I'm saying that the display of the thing should be none. So anywhere dot hidden is, you can see that the display is none, so it is not there. To you, it is not there. To me, I know it is there, but I've just what? Hidden it. Any questions so far? So far, any questions about the design? And as you can see, our design looks like the design over here. Any questions so far? Florence, you have a question?
Yes, please.
What's the question?
Yeah, before you can design, how do you come up with your code? Is there a way that you can, as you are learning, you can also come up with your code to create something or to design something like this?
You must know what you want to design first.
Yeah, but how do you get the codes like to put in to design something?
How do you get the code? That's the portion I didn't understand. Before you can
see all the codes, like if you want to change the bio, the color and everything, the font size and all the things you are doing there. Like if I want to design exactly the same as you are doing, how do I go about it? Like with the codes. I'm talking about how to input the codes in to get the right design.
That is a very interesting statement. The only way I can explain it, the only way I can tell you how to get it is, have you been around children before? Florence.
Please, I don't get you.
Have you been around children before? It's like 3, 4, 5. Children whose ages are 3, 4, 5.
Yes, please.
You have been around children before. How does the child know that I want to eat ice cream? The child at let's say okay 4, 5 probably he has seen ice cream, but let's say at 2 you realize they start forming sentences. how does the child know how to form sentences and say, Mom, I'm hungry. Mom, I want bottle. Mom, I want this. How do they form those sentences?
Is by learning.
No,
It's
no.
probably
Mhm.
yeah, I
It,
don't know, but
it is obviously it is by learning, but how does the child learn? Because he hasn't gone to school to sit before of someone and then learn it. So how does the child learn? They learn through observation and repetition.
okay.
The child, that is why it is always said that when you have children around, there are certain behaviors you shouldn't do because the child your is learning you. The child is not learning things from him. He's learning you. So anything you do, that is exactly what the child is also going to do. So the same way whereby you as an individual, if I told you to write an essay for me because you have seen a crime in front of the school, so write an essay, a police report. I'm assuming you've never gone to the police station before. To be honest, I'm assuming you've never written a police report in your life before. So you having to now go and write a police report, I'm assuming you will not say, I can write. So the sentences that you would use to create the site, the way in which I created it there, the way in which it is positioned here, you may not have that knowledge of how to put it there. Just like how if you're asked to write the police report, the sentences you put there, you don't know the entire sentence. You don't know if it's going to be 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page. You don't know. So the only thing you will have to do is you will have to dwell on past knowledge. And there is the problem. Because the more of these things you do, the more you realize that, okay, I don't want to do a card. I want to do something for someone to be able to sell shoes. It means that this picture here is not going to be round anymore. It's going to be a square. It means that I will not have HTML, this and this there anymore. It means the name of the product is going to be here. It means this show bio is going to change to buy now. Then I'll put it on the person's screen. So you will have to practice, and that word comes in a lot, especially in web, whereby the more websites you build, you realize that it comes a time when you form your own sentence. My girlfriend is away, or she's away, and whenever she speaks, she uses the word la. So, oh, do this for me, la, and those kind of words. We don't use those kind of words. And you realize because of the environment she uses those words. Because of the environment I am in, the fronty environment, there is the mele or the or record that those kind of words. So those are the kind of words I would use. No matter how good I am at speaking English, no matter where I travel to, if something happens, I will default back to those words. Oh, do it for me, la. Oh, you too. She will default back to those words. So the more in the beginning, you'd realize that you have to watch how someone did theirs and copy. But once you copy, and I come to you and tell you, oh, I want you to design something for a shopping application, you'd realize very quickly the avatar is not supposed to be rounded anymore because for a shopping application. You realize that where the person's name is, it has to change from the person's name to, let's say, Nike shoe. You realize very quickly that where the person's product is could be on sale. You realize that where you have the HTML and CSS, it will change to small s, XL, XLL, XXL. You realize that where you have the show bio will change to buy now. You realize that if you copy this code here and you paste it under this one, now you have two of them. You realize that if you go into the CSS and where you have the card, because there was only one card, we didn't have to think of margin. So here, I can now come and say margin, let's say 10 pixels. So now my application, which was supposed to be just for holding people's information, now it is for me to sell shoes. So if I manipulate that design, I have another design. Me sometimes telling you guys to practice has nothing to do with the exam. To be honest with you, if you follow along the normal follow along read, you would pass the exam. You should be able to pass the exam. You practicing is seeing how other people do things. The same way the child will watch you do things. You watch your mother cook every time. You realize that at a certain point when you cook, you use certain ingredients and people ask you why, you don't even know why. Like there was this thing where a woman was cooking and she used to, when there was a big pan, she would divide the pan into two and put it in the oven to bake the biscuits. And she did that for years. And her child came and said, like, you can put the pan in one and put it. Why do you spread it into two? And she said she doesn't know. It's her mother did that, so she's doing that. So when they visited her mother, they asked the mother, why do you divide the biscuits into two and put them in the oven? Why don't you put them all in one pan? And the mother was, I divided them into two because my oven was not big. If my oven was big, I would have put all of them in one pan. We do things because we see them. And once we see them, repeat them. The master coder is the one who sees them, asks why, and finds another way of doing it. You can see that if I was to look for pictures of shoes and place them here, I have just developed a shopping application. It didn't take a lot of code. The same things which were there, I manipulated them to create what I want to do. And another thing too, whilst we are on the topic of how do I put it together, you must do it within a particular time frame. Time is of essence. At a certain point, certain things are not funny anymore. You not being able to type, you not being prepared, you come in and every time your setup is not right. It's not funny anymore. If I was to build this and I'm on my own, I know I'm supposed to use 2 seconds or 3 seconds or 4 seconds or 5 seconds or 15 seconds. So the time I'm supposed to use is important. Florence, am I making sense?
Yes, sir. I get you.
Any other questions, please? Now, over here, in the main thing we are looking at, if I go and click on show bio, it shows me the thing here. If I go and click show bio here, nothing is showing to me over here. It's hidden. It's not there. It doesn't exist. But I want it to exist. So how will I make it exist? And it is there in which JavaScript comes into play. The JavaScript will allow me to do that. So I'm going to create some things. I'm going to create a constant called bio button. I'm going to create another constant called bio. Remember, if something is a constant, it means that the data cannot change for the entire lifespan of the program. I'm going to say that constant button should be equal to document. This is a keyword, so I have to bring it. And if I bring document, it means I'm referencing the DOM. And we looked at the DOM last week. It's a tree-line structure which JavaScript uses to improve its search and then pick items from. Get element by ID, so it means that when I go into the DOM, I'm getting an element by ID. And what element am ID collecting? I'm collecting the element of the ID called bio BTN. Over here, I'm going to create another constant. This one, I'm going to call it bio. And my other constant is going to be also fetch from the document dot get element by ID. And in here, I'm going to fetch bio. Now, if I come here, I'll see bio over here, the ID bio. So it means this is what I'm going to fetch over here. And when I come in here, I can see the ID BTN, bio BTN. So it means that this is what I'm fetching here. Number two, I have to go and then tell the person that if you take bio BTN, that is if you go and take this, I've told the computer that go and bring me the element that has the ID bio BTN. So the element that has the bio BTN is called button. The button element represents. So button is what I'm bringing. So it means that in this thing here, I've saved the button. So I'm going to tell the computer, go for the button. Anytime someone clicks on it, so here I'll tell the computer, anytime someone clicks on the button, do what is in this section here. And in programming, if you are going to do something, then that thing is going to be a function. So anytime someone clicks on the button, click, I want you to do something here. Now, the action which will be done will be put in the curly brackets here. And what action should be done? Number one, if, so I'm going to check some stuff. If, into brackets, bio dot class list dot contains into brackets hidden then So what have I written? I'm saying that if the person clicks the button, go and look for the element of the ID bio. Check its class list. If the class list contains something called hidden, that is what I've written over here. If it contains something called hidden, then bio dot class list dot remove hidden semicolon bio button dot text content should be equal to hide bio. Now, what have I done? If I go into my application, if I click here, sorry, let me refresh. If I click here, the effect is not coming. Let's see. There is an error. Property now. Okay, so there is a now property here. And the error is coming from this place here, where it cannot find bio BTN. So let's see. They said bio BTN. It can't find it. So property is now. So it can't find this one. Over here, it is bio BTN. I said document.getElement by ID bio BTN. When I come here, I can see that bio BTN is spelled with a capital B. So if I don't change this to a capital B, it means that it can't find it. That's why it's telling me now. You can see that when I got an error, I right-click, went to console, and then when I went to console, I read what my error is and I solved it. If something is now, it means it doesn't exist. So I'll check the names of the things and make sure it exists. If I run this code again, I click, it is showing for me. Why is it showing for me? It is showing for me because I said that when someone clicks the button, I should do this. What am I doing? Go into the person's code. Go for the class list. Check if hidden is there. If hidden is there, then remove it. If I remove hidden, then it means the CSI, which is display none, will not apply anymore. Then the thing will show. Now, if I have removed it, then and I want it back, I should do else bio dot class list dot add, and what am I adding? I'm adding back the hidden bio btn dot text content should change back to show bio. Now, if I run my code again, I'll see that when I click this, it shows the text content here changes to hide bio. When I click, it goes away. The text content shows to show bio. Why is it going away? Because I have added back this hide. Let's look at it from this point of view. If I remove the hide from here, and then I open my code, this is going to show. It is not showing because I put hide over here. And this hide is coming from dot hide here, which says display what? None. I'm going to send you people the video immediately the class ends. I'm also going to send you people the finished. Oh no, let me not send you. If I send you the finished code, you just copy the code. So I'll send you the video, or you want the finished code. I'll send the finished code. I'll send the finished code tomorrow. But for today, I will send you the video. I want you to sit down and try to do it. If you're able to do it, just make a short video of you making it work and send it to me. Okay? Now, for you, don't use the link here that gives you the images. Pick an image from your computer and put that image there. Pick an image of you and put your image over there. When we come next week to class, what we are going to do is we are going to put what we have done online so that someone can go to www.something.com and then they can see your picture and your profile over there. Exactly. Give it a
Yes,
try.
please.
Just give it a try. As much as coding is so sophisticated or whatever you want to put your mind to, the only thing you have to do is give it a try. That's all. You realize very quickly that the more sites you are doing, it becomes easier very quickly. And then you will develop your own skill, your own way of doing things. What works best for you? Thank you all for coming today. If there are no questions, we'll bring the class to an end right now.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.